The cold morning air bit through Emily Parker's thin jacket as she walked along the quiet streets of Millbrook, a small industrial town nestled in the heart of northern England. At 28, she carried the weight of the world on her shoulders, her tired eyes reflecting a battle that seemed never-ending. The old factory where she had worked for 6 years had closed suddenly, leaving her and hundreds of other workers without hope. Her father, Robert, sat in their small terraced house, struggling with a chronic illness that drained their already fragile finances. Medical bills piled up like a mountain of despair, and Emily felt trapped between her love for her father and the harsh reality of their situation. Every morning she would wake up before sunrise, searching through job listings, making phone calls, and walking from one potential employer to another. The town seemed to grow smaller with each rejection. Her once bright dreams of a stable life now felt like distant memories, crushed by the weight of unemployment and mounting expenses. The local grocery store became her lifeline. The kind-hearted manager, Mr. Thompson, would sometimes slip her extra bread or a few discounted vegetables, understanding the silent struggle etched on her face. Emily's pride made it difficult to accept help, but her father's medication was more important than her wounded pride. At home, she would carefully calculate their expenses, cutting every possible corner. The heating stayed off most days, with Emily and her father wearing multiple layers to keep warm. Her old laptop, a gift from her mother before she passed away, became her primary tool for job hunting and managing their limited resources. Robert would watch his daughter with a mixture of pride and guilt. "I shouldn't carry this burden alone," he would say, his voice weak but filled with love. Emily would simply smile, brushing away his concerns. She remembered her mother's words. "Family stands together, no matter what." The local community center became a beacon of hope. Emily would spend hours there, using their free internet, learning new skills and searching for any opportunity. She took online courses during late nights, her determination burning brighter than the small desk lamp that illuminated her makeshift study space. Millbrook had changed. The once thriving industrial town now felt like a ghost of its former self. Closed factories, empty shops, and a sense of collective despair hung in the air, but Emily refused to be defeated. She knew her story was more than just struggle. It was about survival, hope, and the unbreakable bond between a daughter and her father. Her savings were depleting rapidly. Each bill was a battle, each penny carefully considered. She sold her few valuables, her mother's old jewelry, her college textbooks, even her rarely used winter coat. Survival became an art form, and Emily was becoming a master. The winters were the hardest. Cold seeped through the cracks of their old house, and heating was a luxury they could not afford. Emily would spend hours knitting blankets, preparing warm meals from the most basic ingredients. Her cooking became a testament to creativity, turning simple potatoes and vegetables into hearty stews that brought warmth and comfort. Local friends would sometimes offer help, but Emily's pride made it difficult to accept. She was determined to stand on her own, to prove to herself and her father that they could overcome this challenge. Her nights were filled with online job applications, skill-building courses, and a determination that burned brighter than any obstacle. Robert would often tell her stories of his younger days, of resilience and hope. These stories became Emily's fuel, her motivation to keep pushing forward. She believed that every rejection was just another step towards her ultimate goal: stability, health, and a better life for her father. As dawn broke over Millbrook, Emily would look out the window, her eyes reflecting a mixture of exhaustion and hope. She knew that somewhere, somehow, an opportunity would present itself. Her journey was just beginning, and she was ready to face whatever challenges came her way. Her story was not just about survival, but about the incredible strength of the human spirit, a testament to love, determination, and the unbreakable bond between a daughter and her father. The rain pelted the narrow streets of Millbrook, creating a dreary backdrop to Emily's morning routine. She walked carefully, balancing a bag of groceries and trying to avoid the puddles that seemed to grow larger with each step. Her worn-out shoes were barely protecting her from the cold, wet morning. Thomas Reynolds was different from most people in town. As a community center worker, he had seen countless stories of struggle, But something about Emily caught his attention. He had noticed her several times before, always working hard, always looking determined despite the obvious challenges. On this particular rainy morning, Emily's bag suddenly gave way. Groceries spilled across the wet pavement, rolling in different directions. She stood frozen for a moment, fighting back tears of frustration. It was the last thing she needed. More problems, more challenges. Thomas approached quickly, helping her gather the scattered items. "Let me help you," he said softly, his kind eyes meeting hers. Emily wanted to refuse. She was used to handling things alone, but exhaustion and the unexpected kindness made her accept his help. They walked together to a nearby cafe, where Thomas bought her a warm cup of tea. For the first time in months, Emily felt someone truly saw her. Thomas listened as she carefully shared her story about her father's illness, her lost job, the constant struggle to make ends meet. The community center, Thomas explained, had several programs designed to help people like Emily. Job training, skill development, temporary work opportunities, resources she had never known existed. He wasn't offering pity, but genuine support and practical help. Over the next few weeks, Emily began visiting the community center regularly. Thomas introduced her to local employers, helped her update her resume, and connected her with job training programs. Each small step felt like a massive victory. Her confidence, which had been crushed by months of rejection, began to rebuild. Local businesses started to take notice. The center had a network of small employers looking for dedicated workers. Emily's determination and willingness to learn set her apart. She attended workshops, learned basic computer skills, and discovered talents she never knew she possessed. Robert watched the transformation with pride. His daughter, who had been carrying the weight of their entire world, was finding her strength again. The medical bills seemed less terrifying, the future less uncertain. Hope, which had been a distant memory, began to feel real again. Emily's routine changed. Mornings were no longer just about survival, but about opportunity. She learned spreadsheet management, customer service skills, and basic accounting. The community center became more than just a place. It became her lifeline, her bridge to a better future. Thomas became more than just a community worker. He became a mentor, a friend who believed in her potential. He saw beyond her current circumstances, recognizing the strength and intelligence that Emily had buried beneath years of struggle. The town of Millbrook started to feel different. Emily's story inspired others. People who had given up hope began to see possibilities. The community center became a place of transformation, of second chances. Her journey was proving that with the right support, anyone could rebuild their life. Local businesses began to take notice of the center's programs. Emily's determination caught the eye of a small administrative office looking for a part-time assistant. It wasn't a dream job, but it was a start, a chance to prove herself, to build something better. Her father's health seemed to improve with her newfound hope. The constant worry that had lined his face began to soften. He would sit by the window, watching Emily prepare for her new opportunities, his heart full of love and pride. The rain that had once symbolized their struggles now felt different. It was no longer a reminder of hardship, but a sign of growth, of renewal. Emily understood that connections could come from the most unexpected places: a kind stranger, a community center, a moment of shared humanity. As evening fell over Millbrook, Emily reflected on the changes. The world hadn't dramatically transformed, but her perspective had. She had learned that hope wasn't about having everything perfect, but about finding strength in unexpected connections. Her journey was just beginning, but for the first time in months, she could see a path forward. The community center, Thomas, the local businesses, they had become more than just resources. They had become her support system, her new family. The small business sat quietly on the edge of Millbrook's main street, its windows clean and welcoming. Emily's hands trembled slightly as she approached for the job interview. Her heart raced, with a mixture of hope and anxiety that had become all too familiar over the past months. Mr. Harrison, the business owner, was a practical man in his mid-50s. He had seen countless job applicants, but something about Emily was different. Her application wasn't just a piece of paper. It told a story of determination and resilience. When she spoke, her words were carefully chosen, her passion evident. In every sentence, the job was simple, a part-time administrative assistant position. For Emily, it might as well have been a golden opportunity. She had prepared for this moment, spending countless hours at the community center, learning basic computer skills and office management. Thomas had helped her practice interview techniques, boosting her confidence with each session. During the interview, Mr. Harrison asked about her background. Emily didn't hide her struggles. She spoke honestly about caring for her father, about losing her previous job, about her determination to build a better life. Her transparency caught the owner's attention more than any perfectly crafted resume could. "I'll give you a chance," Mr. Harrison said finally, a slight smile breaking through his normally serious expression. Those words felt like a lifeline. To Emily, it wasn't just a job. It was her opportunity to prove herself, to show the world her true potential. Her first day was a blur of excitement and nerves. The office was small but organized, with modern computers and a warm atmosphere. Emily arrived early, dressed in her best clothes, a carefully preserved outfit she had kept for special occasions. Her father helped her prepare, his pride evident in every moment. The work wasn't glamorous, but Emily approached it with dedication. Filing papers, managing emails, answering phones, she treated each task as an important mission. Mr. Harrison noticed her attention to detail, her willingness to learn, her quiet determination. Slowly, the financial pressure began to ease. The part-time salary wasn't much, but it was enough to help with her father's medical expenses. She could now buy slightly better groceries, keep the heating on a bit longer, dream of small improvements. At home, Robert's health seemed to improve with Emily's newfound hope. The constant worry that had lined his face began to soften. He would sit by the window, watching Emily prepare for work, his heart full of love and pride. Their conversations became lighter, filled with possibility rather than struggle. The community center continued to support her. Thomas would check in regularly, offering advice, celebrating her small victories. Emily was becoming more than just another success story. She was becoming an inspiration to others facing similar challenges. Her colleagues at the small business began to see her as more than just the new administrative assistant. They saw her potential, her ability to solve problems, her quiet intelligence. Mr. Harrison started giving her more responsibilities, recognizing her capabilities. Millbrook seemed to change around her. The town that had once felt like a place of endless struggle now felt full of possibility. Emily's journey was proving that with hard work, support, and determination, anything was possible. The medical bills that had once seemed like an impossible mountain now looked more manageable. Emily started a small savings account, something she hadn't dared to dream about just months ago. Each deposit felt like a victory, a step towards a more secure future. Her mother's old advice echoed in her mind: keep moving forward no matter how slow the progress. Emily was living those words now. She understood that success wasn't about grand gestures, but about consistent effort, about showing up every single day. As weeks turned into months, Emily transformed. The woman who had once felt defeated now walked with confidence. Her smile, once rare, became more frequent. The community center, the small business, her father, they had all become part of her journey of hope. The turning point wasn't a single moment, but a series of small victories. A job, a kind employer, a supportive community. These were the ingredients of her new life. Emily had discovered her strength, not in grand achievements, but in daily persistence. The computer screen flickered with possibility as Emily discovered a world she never knew existed. Mr. Harrison had noticed her potential and offered her additional training, a chance to learn digital skills that seemed like magic to her just months ago. Her fingers, once clumsy on the keyboard, now moved with increasing confidence. Each click, each new program learned, felt like breaking through invisible walls that had surrounded her entire life. The community center's free online courses became her evening ritual, with her father watching proudly from his armchair. Digital skills opened doors Emily never imagined. Spreadsheets transformed from confusing grids to powerful tools. She learned to manage databases, create professional documents, and navigate complex computer systems. Her world expanded beyond the small administrative tasks she had started with. Mr. Harrison saw something special in Emily. Where others might have seen a simple part-time worker, he recognized a diamond in the rough. He began giving her more, challenging assignments, watching her grow with each new responsibility. Her ability to learn quickly became her greatest strength. At home, Robert's health became a constant reminder of why she was fighting so hard. Medical bills that once seemed impossible were now manageable. She could afford better medication, small comforts that made his life easier. The worry lines on his face began to soften. The small business became her classroom. Emily absorbed everything. She could asking questions, staying late to understand complex systems. Her colleagues began to see her differently. No longer just the new administrative assistant, but a valuable team member with incredible potential. Thomas from the community center continued to support her journey. He connected her with additional training programs, helped her understand career development, and celebrated each of her small victories. Emily was becoming more than just a success story. She was becoming an inspiration. Digital skills opened unexpected opportunities. Emily learned basic coding, computer maintenance, and advanced office management. Her confidence grew with each new skill. The woman who once felt trapped by her circumstances was now creating her own path forward. Millbrook began to change around her. People noticed the transformation. A local woman who had gone from struggling to thriving. Emily became a quiet inspiration, proof that determination could overcome seemingly impossible obstacles. Her mother's old laptop, once a lifeline for job hunting, now became a powerful tool for personal growth. Emily would spend evenings learning, her father watching with pride. The room would be filled with the soft glow of the screen and the sound of typing, a melody of hope and progress. The financial pressure began to ease. Emily started a small savings account, something she had never thought possible. Each deposit felt like a victory, a testament to her hard work and determination. Her father's medical expenses became less terrifying, her future more secure. Mr. Harrison recognized her potential and offered her a more permanent position. The part-time job transformed into a career opportunity. Emily could now see a path forward, a chance to build something meaningful. Her world had expanded beyond survival to possibility. Her colleagues began to seek her advice. The woman who had once felt invisible was now becoming an important part of the team. She solved problems, offered innovative solutions, and approached each challenge with quiet determination. The community center became a proud supporter of her journey. Thomas would often share her story as an example of what was possible with support and determination. Emily became more than just a success story. She became a beacon of hope for others facing similar challenges. At home, conversations with her father changed. No longer were they focused on survival, but on possibility. Robert would listen to her stories of work, of learning, of growth. His eyes would fill with pride, seeing the woman his daughter had become. Digital skills transformed more than just her job. They became a pathway to understanding the world differently. Emily learned about online opportunities, about connecting with people beyond her small town. Her world expanded with each new skill, learned. The barriers that had once seemed insurmountable began to crumble. Emily was no longer defined by her past struggles, but by her potential. She had discovered a strength she never knew she possessed. Each day brought new challenges, new opportunities. As evening fell over Millbrook, Emily would sit with her father, sharing stories of her day. The room was filled with warmth, with hope, with the quiet understanding that they had overcome so much together. Her journey was far from over, but she was no longer afraid of what might come next. 1 year had passed since Emily's first day at the small business. The woman who once struggled to make ends meet now stood confidently in a management position, her transformation complete. Mr. Harrison had recognized her exceptional skills, promoting her and entrusting her with significant responsibilities. The community center became more than just a memory. Emily started volunteering, dedicating her evenings to helping others facing similar challenges. She understood the power of support, of someone believing in you when the world seemed dark. Her story inspired dozens of local residents who saw hope in her journey. Robert's health had improved dramatically. The constant worry that once consumed their lives had transformed into moments of joy and connection. Emily could now afford better medical care, nutritious food, and small comforts that made his life meaningful. Her father watched her with immense pride, seeing the strong, independent woman she had become. Her volunteer work became a lifeline for many in Millbrook. Emily developed training programs for unemployed individuals, sharing the digital skills she had learned. She became a symbol of hope, proving that circumstances could change with determination, support, and hard work. The small business recognized her exceptional talent. Mr. Harrison expanded her role, giving her more responsibilities and opportunities for growth. Emily's innovative approaches and problem-solving skills set her apart from other employees. She was no longer just surviving, she was thriving. Local businesses began to take notice. Emily's success story spread through Millbrook like a positive wildfire. Young people struggling with unemployment would seek her advice, inspired by her transformation. She became a mentor, a beacon of hope for those feeling trapped by their circumstances. Her digital skills continued to grow. Emily took advanced online courses, expanding her knowledge and capabilities. The computer that was once a simple tool had become a gateway to endless possibilities. She learned complex software, management techniques, and innovative problem-solving strategies. Thomas from the community center remained a close friend and supporter. He would often share her story as an example of what was possible with the right support and determination. Emily had become more than a success story. She was a community leader. At home, conversations with her father were filled with hope and possibility. They would discuss her work, her volunteer efforts, her plans for the future. Robert's eyes would shine with pride, seeing the incredible woman his daughter had become. Their relationship had transformed from survival to celebration. The financial pressures that once seemed overwhelming were now a distant memory. Emily had not only stabilized their situation, but had created opportunities for growth. She started a small investment fund, planning for their future with careful consideration and hope. Millbrook itself seemed to change around her. The town that had once felt hopeless now buzzed with possibility. Emily's story inspired others to pursue their dreams, to fight against their circumstances, to believe in themselves. Her volunteer work at the community center became a powerful force for change. Emily developed programs to help unemployed individuals learn digital skills, create professional resumes, and find job opportunities. She understood the power of a single opportunity, of someone believing in you. Mr. Harrison continued to support her growth. He saw her as more than an employee. She was a valuable team member who brought innovation and passion to the business. Emily's promotion was a testament to her hard work and determination. The medical bills that once seemed impossible were now carefully managed. Emily could provide her father with the best care, ensure his comfort, and create a stable home environment. Their relationship had transformed from one of struggle to one of mutual support and love. Local newspapers began to feature her story. Emily became a symbol of resilience, of the power of determination and support. Young people would approach her seeking advice, hoping to understand how she had transformed her life. Her mother's memory lived on through her actions. The strength, determination, and love that had been passed down continued to guide Emily. She understood that success was not about grand gestures, but about consistent effort and belief in oneself. As evening fell over Millbrook, Emily would sit with her father, sharing stories of her day. The room was filled with warmth, with hope, with the quiet understanding of how far they had come. Her journey was a testament to the power of resilience, of love, of never giving up. The woman who had once felt trapped by her circumstances had become a beacon of hope, a living proof that with support, determination, and hard work, anything is possible.